By the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, and by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, that we may transform it into light. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Today we walk the path of the Dove and Serpent spread, an 11-fold journey of transformation. Each position reveals a unique aspect of your journey, alternating between the essence of your being and the events that help to shape your destiny. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Fool card. This is the first station of the spread. And this is, it's called the station, and it's your essential self. This is who you are right now at the deepest conscious level, kind of a core identity. This is the Fool card, okay? This is kind of our self-image. This is what might be preoccupying us. This is what's on our mind. This is when we're at home alone at night, we're about to go to bed. This is us. We are the Fool. I think that you're someone who is really trying to let things go. You're trying to kind of like at the end of the night, just wash away the entire day and just be your authentic self. I think you're someone who has a sense of humor. I think that you are, maybe seeing yourself as somebody that's kind of green in a situation, that you're kind of new to something, or that you're still learning your way. You're still trying to figure out your path. Sometimes this is a card of like, I don't really have a direction. I don't really mind not having a direction. The Fool is kind of the feather on the wind. You might be feeling very spontaneous, very creative, very free. Yeah. You kind of are embodying this sense of levity, of lightness, of freedom, of joy, of kind of, frolicking through life right now. And I think this is really a very important card, right? I mean, this is the card, this is basically how we enter into life, right? As the Fool. The Tarot is trying to teach us how to be the magician. So the Tarot might be telling you that we need to sort of focus our path a little bit, that we might be a little bit kind of unbalanced or unfocused right now, kind of doing a lot of different things rather than putting enough effort into one particular thing. Okay. But overall, this is a very good card. Okay. And I think it really is saying that you're kind of like, you're ready for the next quest. You're ready for a new kind of beginning. We're ready to see, like, what does life have for me tomorrow? This is kind of, we're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning, and we're ready for whatever the day is going to bring us. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread, obviously, and we'll put the rest of our cards on the table. We have a Queen of Pentacles. We have a Four of Swords, a Nine of Cups. We have a Knight of Wands, and we have a Prince of Cups. Over here we have the Eight of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Two of Cups, a lot of cup cards, huh? And we have a Five of Swords. So yeah, it feels like there is there's a fresh start coming. Yeah. And it feels like the Queen of Pentacles is sort of looking at the past and wondering, like, as good as the past, as good as some things may have been in the past, what is the right, path forward? We can't live back here, right? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is, here's a volunteer card, and it's the Three of Pentacles. We need a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This will be the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Mr. Ed, our little horse, right there on top. And now we're not going to look at that card, of course, until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. All right, let's use our intuition. Now, as we look around the room here, we see that the Fool is our only major arcana card. We don't have any more. So that's interesting that this is the only one, okay? And it's sort of, it tells me that the focus really is on this kind of open and free energy. And I don't know if maybe you're going through a transition in life, or you recently have, and so now you kind of have more freedom, more free time, more free energy. Maybe we have just this kind of something is concluded, and now there is this readiness for the next adventure of life. Okay, we have a little bit of fire. We certainly have water, a lot of water. So this is kind of it's going to be an emotional journey for sure. And I think that with the abundance of water energy, it's kind of like you're looking for emotional fulfillment more than a kind of physical fulfillment or financial fulfillment. I think that this is really, I want to feel good about the life that I'm leading, and I want to have a more positive experience of life. And it's kind of like that seems to be taking priority for you, is not so much what you're doing or how much you're making, but you want to feel good about it. You want to feel like you're connecting with it. You want that sense of purpose. Okay. Sometimes the Fool, as the big fat zero card, is kind of going through life without a purpose. Is just kind of like I don't have a thing. I don't know maybe my core identity, right? I don't know what it is I really want yet. Okay. So anyway, we've got a lot of water. We've got a little bit of air. And then we have a little bit of earth energy that came out as the volunteer card, but otherwise there's not very much. We have the Queen of Pentacles, and this is position 2. This is the position of the battle. This is the battlefield, really. This is your current life challenge or the spiritual crisis that we're undergoing. Okay, this could be a conflict, or it could be some transformative tension. Right? It's the defining situation of this moment of your path, and this is the Queen of Pentacles looking at the past. Okay, a very practical card. Okay, the Queen of Pentacles is understanding the long and winding road that we've already traveled, and because it's an Earth card, I kind of wonder if this is like you're looking back at your whole like physical life or career life or your financial kind of history. Your maybe the jobs that you've ever had, the work that you've done, how we've spent our time, up until today. Yeah. And so it feels like we're trying to understand who we've been and the road that we've traveled in order to get an idea of where we're supposed to go now. Maybe this is an idea of kind of letting go of a lot of the goals we used to have, and embracing the freedom of the Fool energy. It kind of feels like you're at a crossroads, or you're at a turning point, because especially, the Fool is obviously the card of like a new adventure, right? And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is trying to understand the past so that then the Queen can turn toward the future and apply that wisdom to the future, right? So we're trying to get a functional wisdom of where we've been, so we kind of have an idea of where we're going. So you might be in between careers or jobs right now. Maybe you've just retired. Maybe you've just gotten out of school. But there's this sense of like a new adventure, and we're not so sure what it's going to feel like, So the dilemma here is for us to understand where we've been enough to sort of understand where we're going. Okay, it's the Queen. The Queens of the Tarot are all about trying to understand the past. Okay, and this is really a very physical card, right? Pentacles. So it's talking about our physical existence. Looking back at our lives, how have we spent the last few years or the last few decades of our lives? What have we been doing? Maybe we're feeling like we've kind of been the Fool the whole time. That we've just been sort of wandering into one situation after the other, rather than having a direct focus and saying, this is what I'm doing. It's like, for myself, for instance, when I was a teenager, I had no sense of direction. I didn't know where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do in life. And so I would go to one job, I'd wander into one place and they'd hire me, and then eventually I'd wander somewhere else and get hired over there. I'd wander from kind of one, apartment to another apartment, and, it was, there wasn't a plan. There wasn't a focus to it all. It was just, it was kind of whatever would seem like a good idea in the moment. That's what I would go and do for a while. And so I've had a lot of jobs in my life. I've lived in a lot of different places, mostly in the West Coast, mostly in California. But there wasn't a direction, there wasn't a focus, there wasn't a plan to it all. And have that Ace of Swords clarity that some people have, And so I wonder if that's where we are with the Fool energy too, is that we're looking at the past and we're realizing that maybe I haven't had the most sense of direction or the best plan, We don't always need the plan though, do we? And I think that's part of the lesson of the Fool is that, sometimes over-planning and overthinking things, we miss out on what life is giving us. We don't want to be completely foolish to where we just are kind of like whatever novelty occurs in our day, that's where we're being drawn to, like we have no agency or will of our own. But we want to be open to the spontaneity and to the randomness of life. And when opportunities do arise, we say, yeah, let me go check that out, But I wonder if right now we're sort of looking for the next adventure, maybe the next career, the next project, the next focus for you. Yeah. So let's keep going. Let's look at some more of these cards. Down here with position 3, this is the position of the soul, right? It's your inner world. This is your sometimes unconscious feelings, memories, and desires that are stirring kind of beneath the surface of your life. And the Four of Swords is really a card of kind of, trying to reconcile the past with the future. Okay, this could be some, it's a mental stability, but it may be a card that is saying, I don't feel like I really know any answers right now. It's four. We're not really, the air is not moving here. It's kind of stuck, and it could be that feeling that we're looking for new connections. We're looking for something that takes us outside of the box, that takes us outside of what we've always done. Okay, and that's kind of Fool energy too. The Fool's always looking for novelty. So this would confirm that, that that we've been maybe thinking small, that we've kind of like when we think of what do I want to do today, we come up with the same 4 answers every time. It's like we're looking for something different. I need something new now. I don't want to just repeat the same things I've been doing, right? So the Four of Swords is kind of like, we've had the same 4 ideas over and over and over again. And those are not our only options. So the Fool is like, I'm thinking outside the box. I want different options. And maybe we're going to try something we've never thought of before, something we've never done before. Okay. So sometimes the 4s are cards of playing it safe. And this is sometimes playing it safe with our ideas. Yeah. Kind of limiting ourselves to only a couple of options when there are so many options out there for us. Okay. And I think that in some ways, what we are longing for is a sense of connection. We're looking for novelty, exploration, new connections, new people, new experiences, something that takes us out of the routine that we've been in. Now, I don't know for sure that you're transitioning between jobs or careers, because the Queen of Pentacles is simply that card that's looking at the past and saying, is this what I'm going to keep doing? It's like we look at the past, we understand the ups and downs and the twists and turns of the past, and then we look to the future, and what do we see? Do we see the same thing? So it's like I'm looking at the last 20 years of my life, and I look forward to the next 20. Is it going to be exactly the same? And I think the Fool is saying, I don't want it to be the same. The Four of Swords is saying, it will be the same unless we do something different. So it's not necessarily a transition between, one career and another, though it could be that. But I think it's really this feeling like I don't want to just repeat the same year over again, or the same day, or the same decade even, right? Looking for something else, looking for novelty, looking for something that's going to give us a little bit more joy, perhaps, a little bit more love, a little bit more connection, a little bit more of the feeling, because the Queen of Pentacles doesn't really have a whole lot of feeling. Understands the past and everything and blah, 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 but doesn't have like this deep sense of purpose. Okay? Now, position 4 is the Dwarf. This is the past event that still is influencing the present. This is some inertia that you're dragging behind. Events from childhood, maybe a recent trauma, something is holding you back. It's the card of happiness. And I wonder if the Queen of Pentacles is looking at the past and thinking, there was a day where I sort of abandoned my happiness in order to do the practical thing. Was there a day for you where you had choices and you said, okay, I can do that really wild and crazy thing, take a really big chance, take a really big risk on myself, or I could do the safe and secure and the practical thing. It's kind of like, I can go travel and be an artist or whatever, or I could just get that job at that office. Nothing wrong with office jobs. I've had mostly office jobs. I'm pretty much sitting in an office now. But I feel like this is the card that is saying that we sacrificed our true, deeper sense of purpose and meaning in order to do what seemed like a very pragmatic thing, what seemed like a good choice. And I think it was a long time ago. I think where there was maybe some, parental influences, societal influences that said, let's put away childish things. Let's get the job that we need. Let's do the practical thing. And so you put away kind of a dream, right? Put away maybe an art form or a talent that you had, or a wish or an aspiration that you wanted to fulfill someday. And not to say that you're not happy now, but there's something from your past that is kind of like saying you never chase this dream down. Yeah. And maybe this is that kind of a crossroads where we're saying, you know what, I want to chase this dream down now. Maybe it looks different now. Maybe maybe you don't even remember what it was back in the day, but you remember that you had two roads in front of you. Like, when we're teenagers, let's say, right? Or we're going to turn 18 or something. We pretty much have two roads in front of us that split off from each other. One is adventure. One is pursuing your talent, taking a risk on that big idea, that big talent that you have, or that, that dream. You can chase the dream. Or the other road is, I can play it safe. I can go get the job that my parents want me to get, or whatever, right? Do the safe and kind of the more reliable thing. And I feel like that's where we are now. And I feel like this Nine of Cups is sort of dragging on you now. Okay. And, and now it's calling to you again. And I think that the Fool is ready to, perhaps incorporate this dream energy into your life a little bit more. It doesn't mean that you have to leave your job or anything like that, but this is a moment where we're going to start living more authentically, and we're going to embrace this, right? We let this linger in the past, and it's always going to be dragging on us. We're never going to fully really realize ourselves or fulfill ourselves if we ignore that Nine of Cups in that background. Because it's saying that dream is still alive in you. Now, again, it may look different. It may not even know what it was specifically, but it's that feeling, right? So, the next card, okay, this is position 5. This is the Giant. This is your personal power. This is your strength, right? This is your creative fire. And it's a Knight of Wands, right? This is your motivating force. This is your passion, your inner virtue, your desire. This is driving you forward. And you have a very energetic aura to you. Very powerful, a deep fire a lot of creativity and a lot of strength. This is a card that wants to leap into action. This is a card that can jump into everything 100%. Now, the knights are always looking at the future, just as the queens are looking at the past. The knights, right, look at the future. So we're kind of seeing like, I could leap into a new path right now, or I can leap into something new. And again, maybe we have our whole life set up. We've got our job, we got our family, everything's good. This is us taking a leap in another direction, not abandoning what we have, but augmenting it with something that feels more enriching. So to me, it feels like we're beginning something new. And we're not going to let our fears, worries, and concerns get in the way. See, the horse and the rider are one unit. They have to trust each other. If they don't, we're going to fall down. So this is the card that says, I am trusting my response. I'm trusting my gut. I'm trusting my instinct. I'm jumping into something new because I feel the passion. I feel the creative fire, and I'm leaping into it. I think what happened in the past was that we felt this surge of creative energy and this fire and this ambition, but we paused. We didn't trust it. There were too many other voices in our head or in our life, and so we didn't trust this, and so we sort of fell off that horse. We lost that impulse. We lost that momentum. Okay. And now it's sort of back there dragging on us, saying, don't forget about me, right? But we have the opportunity to do this now. And this feels like we're beginning something very creative. Maybe it's like, you were always very good at painting. You loved painting when you were a kid, and you aspired to be a painter, but then you got the, you went to school, you got the good job, and you forgot about painting, right? This is saying, let's just do it. Let's just get back into it. It doesn't have to replace the good job you have now, but it can enrich your life in a major way. Okay, but we have to be willing to, and the thing is, the air energy gets in the way of this. This is fire, right? The air energy is going to get in the way of this. The more we think about it, the more likely we are to kind of blow out the flame here, right? And that's kind of like saying, yeah, I have this good job. I have a really busy life. I got my family, but I still want to be a painter, but it's just not practical. Painting, I'm not going to earn any money. It's going to take a lot of time. I'm already really busy. So, maybe in another lifetime, I'm already too old to do all the nonsense that we say to ourselves, right? To talk us out of doing something because it's exciting. This is going to make your blood pump. This is going to get your heart going, right? And then, of course, our unconscious, our tendencies, and our complexes say, well, let's not do that. Let's stay calm. Let's relax and just stay in the steady flow of what we've been doing. In other words, let's stay in the Four of Swords. These are the things that we've allowed ourselves to do that seem reasonable and practical, and they make sense. But of course, the Fool and the Knight of Wands are a little bit too strong for this mental energy that you have that's saying, well, maybe we just stay in the box here where we're safe. Maybe we just stick to these 3 or 4 ideas. These are the things that we can do on the weekends. This is what we're allowed to do for fun or for fulfillment or for satisfaction, right? But position 6 is the Imago. This is the next step for you. The upcoming event, the consequence, or the material focus for you. It's the immediate future. It's a Prince of Cups. It's authenticity. So the next step for you is to allow yourself to explore that impulse that you feel, right? What's coming into form for you is kind of a transformation into authenticity. We have to step into how we really feel about life and what we really feel inside. See, this authenticity is saying that I'm not going to deny how I feel about things. I'm not going to cover up myself. I'm not going to mask my deeper emotions and just try to get by doing life the way I've been doing it. It doesn't mean that we're going to go off the rails and do something destructive or irresponsible, but it means that I've got to listen to what's inside of me, and I've got to start giving a voice to that. Maybe this is like you've got a song inside of you. You got to start singing it. You're a painter at heart. You got to start painting. This is the card of the inner artist. This is the card that is ready to kind of take themselves seriously and say, you know what? I realize that, let's say, playing the drums is a very important part of my life. It's part of who I am, and I need to find a way to express that. And that's, I mean, for me, that's what I go through every day. And I'm still working on ways to step into this authenticity and say, that's something that I need to have. Because I enjoy it so much, it feels like it's a big part of who I am. And to not have that in my life, well, we can see how it's going to feel, right? The 8 of Cups, 7 of Cups. So I don't know what this is for you. Okay. Maybe this is saying that you need deeper relationships. Maybe this is saying that you want romance. Maybe you want, close, intimate relationships with friends. Maybe you want family. Maybe you want the creative side of life as well. Okay. So the next step for you is to find ways to sort of integrate this authenticity and to start exploring this and to find ways to bring that into your life a little bit more. Okay. Now, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about these cards. By the way, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, position 7 is the persona. This is your outer mask, the self that you show other people. This is your public role. And sometimes this is our costume in the greater theater of life, right? This is how others might perceive you. And it's an 8 of Cups. It is, it's not happy, it's not sad. It is, it's kind of, it's lacking the radiance. It feels like something is missing, You feel as if you're pretty practical, but I don't think I think there's a hint of melancholy for you, but it doesn't show, like I said, a hint. It doesn't really show in emotional outbursts, but I think there's just like something that people notice, like you're not as happy as you could be. You're fine. I mean, there's no holes. We're not sinking into a swamp or anything yet. The boat's not sinking or anything, but it just feels like kind of blah. Okay. And, I wonder if there's just a hint of something. I don't want to even say the word depression, but it feels like there's a little hint of melancholy. I guess I just said the word. A hint of melancholy that people are aware of for you. Okay. And I feel that with this card, it's a glass half empty, glass half full kind of card. I feel that, and I'm sure there's a specific word that is escaping me right now for this kind of energy, but it's somebody that is trying to be very practical, trying to be optimistic, but seems almost a little bit cynical. Yeah. Trying to say, well, you know what, things could always be worse. So, it's things are okay. Trying to be practical and say, things aren't so bad. At least they could be worse than what they are now. But I've always had an issue with people that say that. Well, it could always be worse. Yeah, but it could always be better too. And to say it could always be worse is kind of telling people like you shouldn't feel the way you feel. Because think about how it could get so much worse. So why should you feel bad now? You don't know what bad is. And it's kind of like, to me, that's dismissing somebody's feelings. And I don't like that. If you're feeling this way now, and maybe this is kind of like, I don't really know how I feel. Something feels kind of off. I feel a little, again, a hint of melancholy. I don't know what it is really. Well, I think we see what it is. It's because the happiness, the 9 of Cups, is back here. You've got an 8 and a 7. 7, 8. This is what we want. We want the 9. Okay? So it kind of feels like, yeah, things are all right, but it feels like there's something that is sort of preventing me from being truly happy and truly fulfilled in life. Yeah. And so we have to ask, if this persona is still serving our needs, and we have to understand like, okay, yeah, you know what, it's telling me that there is something deeper. Like this might be the feeling like there are symptoms. And it's like, okay, the symptoms aren't the problem. The symptoms are just there to tell you, hey, there's a problem. So we say, yeah, okay, I guess I do kind of, this is how I am in the world. I'm smiling kind of, but it's not a big like fool, like a big authentic smile, I'm just kind of going through the motions a little bit. So maybe I should think about this a little bit more. Maybe I should dive a little deeper and see, like, what do I really need to feel fulfilled, to feel as if there is, that to have that deeper sense of purpose in life. Honestly, sometimes this card is just getting a little bored. Okay. Now, the next card is position 8. It's the shadow. We have a 7 of Cups here. This is the position of your relationships. It's the position of the environment for you. Okay. We call this position the shadow. But I feel that this is really a lack of connection with other people right now. That kind of feels as if it's almost like we're kind of tired of people in a way, or that we're exhausted in a way by our social relationships because maybe they don't go all that deep. Yeah. Sometimes this is a hidden influence. Sometimes this is a situation or an external event that is stirring some of these repressed feelings in us. So it could be that we're kind of dissatisfied with a lot of things in life. It's almost, this card is almost like not only dissatisfied, it's almost like we're disgusted by things. Okay. So I think that sometimes in life we engage in activities that we're supposed to enjoy, but it's just kind of like, not only am I bored with them, but now I really just don't like them. I don't like doing these things anymore. Why? Like I used to enjoy that. Now it's just like, now it feels like I'm being forced, going and doing the social things with your friends on the weekends. It's kind of like, I don't like that. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't know if that's it exactly, but, these are things that at one time appeared very, very pleasurable to us. Very often the 7 of Cups is masquerading as very beautiful, friendly, loving, nourishing things. But when we really start to look at it now, it just feels like it's not nourishing anymore. It looks like a toxic energy. It looks like a swamp. And so it could be things that were at one time nourishing to us. We've lost our taste for them. Now they don't make me feel good anymore. They make me feel just kind of like, what am I doing? And so I think this is kind of another symptom where we're not finding joy in the things that we used to find joy in, or that we thought maybe we were supposed to find joy in. And so it really is saying that there's something in life that we need. There's that deeper sense of purpose and meaning and deeper satisfaction that we need to pursue. And then I think we'll start enjoying everything in life a little bit more. Yeah. And so if there are things in your life that are appearing to you as the 7 of Cups, it's because it's trying to show you that there is something kind of deeper and more meaningful that you need in your life. And so everything else sort of dims because this is what's glowing inside of you. So everything else starts to look a little swampy. Okay. So, these are those moments when you're out doing things that, again, you once maybe found pleasure in, or they seemed fun at one time, and you're out here doing these things, and this is a moment where now you don't feel the joy there. It's because Spirit is trying to redirect you to that 9 of Cups and saying there's something that you're supposed to be doing. There's something that you need in your life that is very important to you that we've pushed aside somewhere back in our past. Okay. Now the 9th position is the Spectre. This is your fear, the character you fear becoming, or the trait that you resist acknowledging. It's a fear, worry, concern. Okay. This is something that it kind of feels like we're trying to avoid. Yeah, but it's a card of love, right? And this may be that deeper sense of purpose, and it really could be that we've been unconsciously acknowledging that we've rejected or denied or put aside or postponed or abandoned some deeper core sense of who we are, some deeper purpose in life, and And so we're coming now, I think, to realize that this is something that we need in our, this is the urge to merge, right? The Two of Cups, it's that love. What is it that you love so much that without it, we can mask it for a while, but eventually this is gonna haunt you. Okay, it's kind of in my own case that all this energy is present for me whenever I am leaning into like ignoring a spiritual part of myself or a spiritual practice. Then it's kind of like if I don't have a certain spiritual routine, I'm very routine, or I love routines and stuff. If I don't have my spiritual practice, and I try to, let's say, pretend I don't want it, right? Pretend there is not this urge to merge, then, everything else in life tends to look very much like a 7 and 8 of Cups. Okay, because it's really Spirit is trying to emphasize this love is what you need. This is the thing that you need to unite yourself with. But we sometimes ignore that or try to deny that and just say, no, I'm just going to live my practical life. I'm going to do the things that I've been doing. And, and this is what I need to focus on. But this is something, it may be your spiritual practice. It may be romantic love. This may be friendship. This may be an art form. This may be a sport. It could be anything. But we try to pretend we don't want it. And then we get that hint of melancholy or worse. And the things that we should find joy and pleasure in don't feel all that joyful or pleasurable because we're missing this. Okay. This is a symbol of that thing that you sort of put aside. That we, in a way, we denied ourselves this. And so this is here now to sort of, to remind us to say, hey, don't forget about me. Don't forget about this activity, this love, this passion that you have, this art form, this creativity, whatever it might be. And so what we see then is, of course, so these two cards are very important. These two positions of the spread are very connected, okay? And so are these two, okay? And so down here we have, this is inside of you, this is outside of you. So inside of you, it's like I'm trying to just stay, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm going to limit myself to these few ideas. And, these are the things I'm going to do on the weekends, but I don't enjoy them anymore, but I'm supposed to, but this is, I just keep doing them for some reason. I need to think outside the box, right? And then these two is saying really like, if we acknowledge the Two of Cups, we're leaping into it. I mean, this is no thought. There's no, remember this is a pure response. This is us jumping into it. Okay, so I feel that there really is this attraction here for you to whatever this is. And again, it could be romantic love. This could be a card of the stamp collection, or like writing a book, or singing your song, or doing your painting, or playing the drums, or making friends, or pursuing some other hobby or interest that you have. Okay, it's something that you love that we've been denying ourselves or ignoring or trying to ignore for a long time. And once we recognize this, that, of course, is activating our Knight of Wands, and we're leaping into it. And so that's really awesome to see those two, because I think this is amazing. Position 10 is the projected outcome. It's the destiny card, the final result. If these current energies are persisting, what we have here is we're sort of opening up our mind. Our thoughts are changing. Our mind is changing. We're making different decisions. I think it's kind of we're expanding our mind here. And this is the card that's kind of saying like, I'm done defeating myself. I'm done trying to deny something that's so essential to me. See, we see the card now with the spiritual point, right? The crown is on the bottom, which means that we have used the Four of Swords, our sort of logical mind, to deny a certain spiritual aspect of ourselves. What we have to do is turn that card around. Let's put Spirit back on top. Let's let Spirit take the wheel. Let's honor that divine essence inside of us, whether that is symbolized by painting or drumming or romance or friendship or whatever, right? The stamp collection. Let's give that let's uncover that. Like here it's buried. Here we are unburying it. We're rediscovering something that's going to bring us more fulfillment. Now, we had a bonus card that came out, and it was the Three of Pentacles. And I think that this is us really putting this mental recognition into practice. See, now we have earth energy again, finally, right? And so all of this is mostly, well, thinking of our past actions, but then it's mostly thoughts and feelings, thoughts. Now we have action. Now we're getting to work. Now we're doing the thing that we're leaping into, that we're letting our passion be magnetized, right? This urge to merge, and we're letting ourselves be drawn into it again. And it's changing the way we're thinking, and now we're acting. Now we're actually taking steps to do what we talked about here. And so I think that's fantastic. I really think this is a good addition. I'm happy that card leaped out of the pack. But let's look at the mystery card. If you have a prediction for this card, put it in the comments down below. This is position 11. It's the guide. Okay? It is the voice of your guides, your higher wisdom. It is kind of representing a particular quality that we need to develop in order to move forward here. It's your sacred voice, right? It's the power within that's calling you onward. So what do we think it's going to be? Well, I think it's going to be a card of action. It's either going to be the Art or Temperance card. It might be some more fire energy. Really, I think that's what we need is the fire energy, and especially some Sagittarius reference would be pretty spot on. So let's see what we have. Oh yeah, it's the Nine of Wands. So it is fire energy. And the Nine of Wands is a card of strength. Okay? It's the card that is, it's a Sagittarius card, right? It's the moon in Sagittarius. And so we have this idea of connecting with those deepest desires in ourselves and finding a way to make a room for it. Finding the strength. So now we're connected with that sense of purpose. And see, if we look at the reading, we don't have there's not a lot of fire here. Okay, like I said, it's mostly water and air. Water, air, water, air. So it's, it's mostly thoughts and feelings. Here we have drive, we have will, we have passion. It's like you're getting your fire back. And you're getting your zest for life back, right? And it's so it's kind of like your vitality is bouncing back. And maybe that's part of what our 7 and 8 of Cups have been. It's just, I just feel kind of sluggish. I feel this inertia. I feel this drag and this melancholy, and I don't know what's wrong. This is when we're connected with our sense of purpose. Our energy will rise. It's kind of, you're going to get a surge of this creative energy, a zest for life, because you're reconnecting with this deeper sense of purpose that's showing up through whatever the details are. It doesn't matter. The stamp collection, painting, it doesn't matter. But that's connecting you with that deeper part of yourself. And then this energy will rise. It gives you a surge, right? Your vitality is returning to you. And there's a strength here. There's willpower. And there's also the card that says we're going to have to figure out how to make room for this thing. We have to rearrange some of our wands here, okay? So that we can incorporate this into our life. And the thing is, like, this energy is going to affect every other aspect of your life too, right? It's a 9, right? So to me, 9s are always 3 on top of 3 on top of 3. And so it is virtue in the virtue and vitality on the physical, financial plane, mental, emotional plane, and spiritual, creative planes. 3, 3, 3. And the 3 of Wands, of course, is virtue and vitality and a sense of self, a spiritual identity. So I think that's really, really powerful. Now, please let the lessons of these 11 stations settle into your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation, alternating between who you're becoming and the world you are creating. Remember that the tarot does not dictate your future. It reveals the patterns of possibility. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your path in any way, Please share your reflections down below. Together we journey onward, ever upward, and ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.